Hello everyone, and welcome to the Sensory and Muscle Function Lab. This lab is run by Dr. Christopher Black, and my name is Jessica Peterson, and I'm going to give you the tour today. Dr. Black has 3 of his students, Robbie, Ashley, and Ryan, and we're all doing some kind of research. Whether it's still at home because of COVID, or we're actually got a couple of projects up and running that we can do within the lab right now. So, the Sensory and Muscle Function Lab has 2 stories that Dr. Black wants to tell. One is on the sensory side of things, in particularly pain, and how we respond to pain and exercise. And the other side of the story is the muscle function and how, muscle functions. So what I'm going to do today is show you around and give you a lowdown on some of the research that we've done. Sound good? Sweet. See you in a sec. Start off with the best station. The reason why I say it's the best station is because this is where I do a lot of my research. So this is the pain station. So we have 2 big pieces of equipment here that we like to use. We have this pressure algometer that measures pressure pain, and then we have this thermode, which measures heat and temperature, cold, hot, basically our sensitivity to different temperatures. And what we can do here is essentially measure pain, and we normally do it before and after an intervention. The main 2 interventions that we do is exercise and then a cold water pressure test. This big guy over here is our isokinetic dynamometer. The purpose of this machine is to essentially measure force, or more specifically torque, because we use a lot of joint angles. So right now it's set up for an isometric leg extension. So we kick against this force transducer down here, and it measures force on here and on here. This piece of equipment doesn't look like much, but we can get a lot of information following the use of this piece of equipment. So what it does is essentially we can hook the participant up to electrodes, and we can stimulate whole muscle groups to force involuntary muscle contractions. What that means is instead of you actually exercising, we can make this machine exercise for you. We can also use it to stimulate nerve, and when we stimulate nerve, we're often looking at spinal reflexes. So what we tend to do is hook up the participant to both the stimulator and a couple of EMG electrodes. These electrodes are similar to EKG electrodes, whereas the EKG electrodes measure electrical signal of the heart. We tend to look at the electrical signal of the muscle. So how many action potentials are the muscle producing, essentially? And when we do that, we can generate these outputs. So we can see the current here, or the stimulus that we apply to the muscle or the nerve. And then down here, we can look at how the muscle responds. Okay, so this is actually a picture of a spinal reflex rather than an involuntary muscle contraction. So when we do spinal reflexes, we stimulate the nerve, and then we get a reaction. So just imagine if you step on a tack and you pull away. This is an example of a spinal reflex, and this is essentially what we're measuring here. We cause an electrical stimulus that goes through the sural nerve, and we see a response from the hamstring, specifically the biceps femoris, when it tries to pull away the muscle or the leg from the electrical stimuli. So like I mentioned earlier, we do have 1 or 2 projects up and running in the lab right now, and one of which is my dissertation, where I am looking at COVID-19 and how it may or may not have played a role in pain sensitivity and pain modulation. So right now I am close to being complete, but I am still looking for several more participants, specifically those who have had COVID. So if you fall into that category and are interested in being part of my research, please reach out. Jessica.a.peterson, Peterson, son-1@ou.edu, and I'll send you some more information over. I'll also send a flyer to your teachers, and hopefully they're able to send that out to you. And if not, if you just go around the building, the HES building, you'll be sure to find my poster somewhere. But yeah, hope you had a great time having a look at our lab, something that I've come to love, and I hope you do too. So have a great rest of your day, everyone.